Welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to be talking about is natural training in general, and my goal with this channel is not to discourage anyone from working out because they feel like that they can't get like the pro bodybuilders. And the thing about it is that you can develop a great physique being natural. You can develop a great physique. The only thing that's required is being consistent. And a lot of times, life itself will prevent us from being that way. Real life. This, like I told you before, most of these YouTubers don't talk about everyday life. The only thing they talk about is how they go to the gym. They don't talk about, nothing about having a hindrance or anything like that of going to the gym. And that's a reality. We all work different hours. I work swing shifts. So you already know that right there makes it very difficult to work out a lot of times because you're gonna be tired. So you have to stay on your game as far as nutrition is concerned. You have to really eat like you're supposed to. You have to rest as much as you can. You have to those vitamins with blood flow, also with those agents in it that will help keep you calm, help keep estrogen levels down, that would prohibit you from getting the size that you want also. But you got to be consistent, and you have to always try to make time to work out. When time doesn't permit itself, that's why I always advocate the home gym. The home gym is something that makes it a lot easier to have access to your weights, because one thing about being natural is you have to keep those muscles engorged with blood. It's almost like working out just enough but not too much. I mean, you got to get that balance. The ones that are using steroids and things like that, those guys have the drug factor that would let them recuperate even from overtraining. You got some that sit up and say, they don't believe in overtraining, and you got to be crazy as I don't know what to believe that there's no such thing as overtraining. You can overtrain, and that right there will take you out the gym for weeks, because it'll take you just that long to recuperate from that overtrained workout. So you can definitely overtrain. That's something that you have to always be aware of. It's possible. So training just enough is the key to a natural person's success. Now the way I see it, and the way it always have been for me, is that trying to be consistent thing. You always have to be consistent, and the more consistent that I am, or out throughout my life, the more consistent that I am, the better the results are. The easier it is to put on size and increase the size of different muscles and stuff like that. You got to keep that muscle engorged with blood, and the more you're able to do that, the easier it is for you to be able to get that size you're looking for. It's not a hard thing for naturals to get the physiques that they want. You just can't be lazy. You gotta be persistent. You gotta, if you ever get to the point to where you just, I don't feel like working out, and then don't work out, you know, you're gonna lose a lot of the stuff that that you have made. But at the same time, when you are working out on a regular basis, just working out on a regular basis, you tend to feel better. Things tend to be better when you are doing that. So even if stressors of jobs, your kids, your wife, your husband, those are stressors that are always going to be there if you have them. You know, and that right there is the thing about it. They're always going to be there. So you have to learn to work around that type of stuff. And when you learn to work around that type of stuff, then you can always keep your workout in. It's not like they say, where you have to constantly, you know, block out everybody. I mean, you know, unless you're trying to be a professional bodybuilder, but then, you know, you're using the drugs to enhance you and get you where you're trying to go. So a lot of what I say won't really affect you, because like I said, you know, you can use the drugs to combat pretty much anything I'm saying now anyway. So my thing is that we're everyday people. We just trying to get those physiques the way you want them, and you want to get that health the way you want it to be. And the only way to do that is be consistent. And again, those home gyms make all that stuff easier to do, but we as people tend to always get lazy at some point. And even if the gym at home, we still won't use it. So this right here is just about natural people. I don't know much about the enhanced folks and trying to tell them how to do things, but it's a lot easier on them. And an enhanced person can't really tell you how it feels to be a natural person once they start using the drugs. They can't really give you advice on how to build a physique unless they build their whole physique up. And you know, all of them always had that lie, you know, saying that they didn't get started on drugs until later on. You know, they reached their full potential. How you reach your full potential in your early teens, your early 20s? You know, you hadn't reached your full potential, you know, because you hadn't really tried. So they can't really tell you how to work out naturally, because most of them haven't. You look at guys like Larry Wheels been using drugs since early teens. So, you know, how can he tell you, you know, how to train? I mean, just being realistic. It almost like a woman telling you how to be a man, or a man trying to tell a woman how to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. Like I said, you got somebody who's enhanced, they just can't tell you how to work out. They can't tell you how to feel, because like I said, with those drugs make them feel a certain way. You know, some of them, it make them more aggressive, make you more aggressive toward the weights when you're lifting weights. And if you take 90% of what they do is overtraining to a natural person. A natural person really can't follow the regimen of an enhanced person because you're gonna overtrain. Now, if that be the case, you have to sit there and think about it. If they doing 20 sets, you naturally know they're gonna be twice what you are. So you know that you should do half of what it is that they're doing. That would put you back in the normal ground. If you like watching these pro bodybuilders, you can only do half of what they do. If they're telling you they eat 6 to 7 times a day, that means you're gonna only be able to eat 3 or 4, like I always say, 3 square meals. You know, it's always gonna be half. That's if you want to be successful at while being natural. Anyway, that's what I want to talk to y'all about. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And again, I'll be talking to you